Do you feel like you just can't stop certain thoughts from coming back? Or do you find yourself repeating the same actions even though you know they don't really make sense? Maybe you're afraid that something bad will happen if you don't do exactly what your mind tells you to do. You're not alone. Obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviors are common. But the good news is you can understand and change them. In this video, you'll learn what obsessive-compulsive behaviors are, why they happen, and, most importantly, how to break free from them. At the end, I'll share a simple but effective method that helps stop obsessive thoughts. So stay tuned, it's worth it. What are compulsions and why don't they let us go? Obsessive-compulsive disorder has two main parts: intrusive thoughts and compulsive actions. Intrusive thoughts are unwanted, repetitive thoughts that can be distressing. They might be about germs, making a mistake, or harming someone. Even though deep down you know these fears don't really make sense, but they still feel very real and powerful. Compulsive actions are rituals or repeated behaviors done in response to these thoughts. You might feel a strong urge to perform them because you believe they will prevent something bad from happening or relieve your anxiety. The problem? In the short term, these actions do reduce anxiety. Our brain learns, oh, this worked. The fear went away. But over time, this actually strengthens the compulsion. The more often you give into it, the stronger the pattern becomes. Why do compulsions develop? Our brain isn't like a computer where you can just delete unwanted files. Instead, it builds habits and associations that get stronger every time they are repeated. OCD can develop due to a mix of biological, psychological, and learned factors. Some studies show that certain areas of the brain are overactive in people with OCD. But what really matters is how the brain processes these patterns. It remembers behaviors that bring short-term relief, even if they cause long-term problems. Often, OCD starts from normal worries. Imagine you once forgot to turn off the stove. You felt nervous, went back to check, and immediately felt relieved. Your brain remembers, checking makes me feel safe. The next time you turn off the stove, doubt creeps in again. You check once more, and your brain reinforces the habit. Over time, this can turn into a compulsion. Stress and difficult life experiences can also make OCD worse. When life feels uncertain, many people try to regain control, sometimes through compulsive actions. How can you break free from compulsions? First of all, trying to suppress obsessive thoughts doesn't work. In fact, it makes them stronger. It's like trying to push a ball underwater. It just pops back up with more force. Instead, we need to break the brain's automatic response. Here are some proven strategies. Interrupt the cycle. If you notice your brain getting stuck in an OCD loop, actively break the pattern. The brain works by repetition, so help it create a new habit. A simple trick is to do a quick math problem in your head or look around the room and describe what you see out loud. Anything that interrupts the automatic loop helps. This is called cognitive interruption. Accept the thoughts instead of fighting them. Instead of trying to push thoughts away, learn to accept them without reacting. Tell yourself, I'm having this thought, but I don't need to do anything about it. This takes away the thought's power. Over time, your brain learns that nothing bad happens if you simply let the thought be. You can also use affirmations like, it's okay to feel anxious when I face my compulsions, but I choose to focus on something meaningful instead. OCD, like most psychological habits, is not overcome by fighting it, but by getting used to it. Our brain changes through repetition, so repeating new thoughts and behaviors is key. Write your obsessive thoughts down. One of the best ways to stop obsessive thoughts is to write them down. Why? Because writing forces your brain to process them differently. Instead of running in an endless loop, the thoughts get structured. Try this. For 1 week, write down every obsessive thought you have. Notice what happens when you put them on paper instead of letting them repeat in your head. Final thoughts. OCD is often a learned pattern that gets stronger with repetition. But this also means that you can unlearn it. Because the brain is adaptable, you can train new responses and slowly break free from compulsions. My challenge for you, try the writing method for 1 week. Write down every obsessive thought without judging it and see how your reaction changes. Let me know in the comments how it goes. I'd love to hear your experience.
Have you already seen my most important video for you? You will learn to understand your symptoms and find the path to change. Feel free to also watch this video here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to always stay informed about the latest posts.